It feels like you can't go a single day without hearing about AI, right? We're constantly bombarded with words like revolutionary and disruptive. But if we actually look past all those headlines, there's a much more practical and honestly a much more important question that we really need to be asking. And that's it. That's the big question we're tackling in this explainer. We're going to try and cut through all the noise to figure out what AI for sustainability really truly means. And we're going to look at the practical ways it's being used right now, not some far-off sci-fi fantasy, but actual current applications that are already making an impact. All right, so first things first, we have got to get past the jargon. What are we really talking about when we throw around a phrase like AI for sustainability? At its core, it's actually pretty simple. It's about using data and smart algorithms to go after our biggest environmental and social challenges. And here's the key thing to remember. The focus isn't on the tech itself. It's all about how we apply that tech to get tangible, real-world results. Now, what makes AI such a natural fit for this? Well, sustainability problems are incredibly complex, just drowning in data. And it just so happens that AI has a kind of superpower for three specific things: predicting patterns, like figuring out when energy demand is going to spike; optimizing systems, like finding the absolute best recycling routes for a city; and, maybe most importantly, processing just massive amounts of data that would be totally impossible for any person to sift through. Okay, so with that in mind, let's dive into the real world. We're going to explore 4 key areas where these AI strengths are already making a really measurable difference. So here's our roadmap for the next few minutes. We'll be touching on smart energy, agriculture, waste management, and climate monitoring. And remember, these aren't just cool ideas on a whiteboard. These are active applications that are fundamentally changing how we approach sustainability. First up, smart energy. The big challenge with renewables like solar and wind is that they're unpredictable. The sun isn't always out, the wind isn't always blowing. This is where AI basically acts as the brain for the entire grid. It's constantly forecasting energy demand and looking at weather patterns. By predicting a city's energy needs in real time, it can intelligently route power, helping to prevent blackouts and slosh waste. It just makes the whole system so much more stable and efficient. All right, next up, agriculture. Think about it. Traditionally, farmers had to treat a huge field as basically one big unit. But AI lets us do something called precision agriculture. You can have drones with sensors that fly over a field and identify specific little patches of soil that are too dry, or plants that are showing the very first signs of a disease. This means farmers can apply water or fertilizer only where it's needed, sometimes down to a single plant. I mean, it's a total game changer, leading to massive water savings and way less chemical runoff into our ecosystems. And what about all of our trash? Well, inside recycling plants, you now have AI-powered cameras that use computer vision, which is literally teaching computers to see and recognize things. They can identify and sort different types of plastic and other materials way faster and more accurately than any person ever could. And at the same time, out on the streets, AI can totally optimize a city's garbage collection routes, analyzing traffic and how full the bins are to cut down on fuel, time, and emissions. And finally, let's zoom out to the big picture, climate monitoring. We have satellites and sensors out there collecting just mind-boggling amounts of data every single day. AI can sift through all of it to find critical patterns that a human or even a whole team of humans could just never spot. We're talking about things like the early warning signs of deforestation in the Amazon or pinpointing the source of a methane leak. This lets us make faster, smarter policy decisions. Okay, so we've seen all this amazing potential, but let's be real for a second. We've all seen AI just slapped onto products as a marketing buzzword. So how in the world do we tell the difference between the real, honest impact and just the hype? This slide here really nails the difference. On one hand, you have real impact. That means clear goals, things you can actually measure, and being responsible with your resources. But on the other hand, you have the buzzword trap. This is where projects might not have any clear results and, get this, they can ironically use so much energy for all the computing that they actually cancel out any potential environmental benefits. Kind of defeats the whole purpose, right? And this, right here, brings us to what might be the single most important takeaway from this entire discussion. It's so important to put AI in the right context. Just let that sink in for a moment. AI is not some magic wand. It is not a silver bullet that's just going to fix climate change all by itself. It's a phenomenally powerful tool that helps us, people, make smarter, more informed decisions. So the bottom line is that AI is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Real, lasting change is going to come from a combination of things:
great technology like AI, smart government policies, and of course, all of our collective choices and behaviors. AI has a vital supporting role, for sure, but it doesn't run the show.
And in the end, that's what it all comes down to. The power of this tool, that's not really in question. We know it's powerful. The real challenge and the real opportunity is for us to be wise and to be honest in how we actually choose to use it.